While the emergency phase of the COVID-19 pandemic is now over, investments in digital infrastructure remain an important resource for health systems and for economies and societies at large. Like many countries, the European Union made significant investments in COVID-19 certificates to help people move around as safely as possible during the pandemic. The European Union's certification system was used by all 27 EU member states and more than 50 other countries. Building on the success of the EU system, WHO is proud today to launch the Global Digital Health Certification Network. So thank you so much to European Union for the excellent certification system that you have transferred to us, and we have the chance to build on it. WHO will begin operations of the network today with the existing COVID-19 certificate as a global public good. Soon after, we will expand this infrastructure by incorporating other use, such as a digitized international certificate of vaccination, routine immunization cards, and international patient summaries.
Joining us now, author, researcher, activist, and natural health advocate, James Roguski. Thank you so much for being with us today, James. It's great to have you.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I've actually been reporting on this for several months, even though this, appears to be news. There have been many signs that this is coming for quite some time, very especially from the Indonesian health minister who spoke to the B20 back in November. And, that was when he first really let the cat out of the bag. He said that Indonesia was proud to have submitted proposed amendments to the international health regulations. And I have in my hand actually an old school vaccine passport. And there's a little form in here that is found in the international health regulations in Article 6. And so what they're seeking to do is take that existing system, greatly expand it, digitize it, not only have a vaccine certification, card, but a prophylaxis certificate, a testing certificate, a recovery certificate. They want everyone to have a unique QR code that each nation would then be able to add whatever it is, they would say are required. In very simplistic terms, I want to encourage everyone in the United States to don't just pay attention to the First Amendment and the Second Amendment. Get very familiar with the Fourth Amendment, which is what gives you secure or guarantees, and we have to stand up and defend the security in your person and in your papers. No one is allowed to invade your space and insist that you do something to your body, and whatever paperwork goes along with it is private between you and your healthcare practitioner.
Absolutely. I think that's critical. And, we got a taste of that during COVID. And so many people just wrote it off and said, oh, it'll be over soon. Oh, it'll never get to that point. But you mentioned QR codes, and that's already happening now. I mean, there is a new video of a grocery store in the UK that's requiring a QR code just to enter. Let's take a look at that, and we'll come back to you.
So look at this. You're in London, you're on a business trip, you're staying in Greenwich, and you want to buy some food. So you go into the local Aldi's, like this one, and you think, I'm going to go in here and buy some food so that I can feed myself. And then you approach the barrier, and look, you can't even get in the shop without having a QR code to scan here or to scan here, and then you can go in and buy things. Now this looks to me like the beginning stages of the digital prison that we keep talking about. What do you think?
James, I think people really need to understand that while this is still optional for the time being, it won't be optional in the near future, right? I mean, the WHO and the World Economic Forum literally tell us in their own documents that we'll need some sort of QR code or mark to buy and sell and even participate in society, right? So once this system is linked to your financial accounts and likely a vaccine status, you'll be completely cut off from your own funds and being able to participate, right? I mean, can you speak more to that and what our future will look like if we allow this to continue?
I think that video did a very good example of, showing one simple problem. Sometimes people say this is on the horizon. Well, I think this is coming down the street and it's almost in your driveway. People really need to start paying attention. And so the recent news of the WHO teaming up with the European Union, I believe, has been misrepresented in some ways, because the COVID passport that was used they're actually winding it down. It's been in place for 2 years. And the article that I read and the people that I've spoken to in Europe, that is expiring in Europe at the end of the month. But the digital, the equipment, the software, the ideas, all of the systems, the WHO wants to expand that on a worldwide basis.